All-American Trophies for all your screen printing and embroidery needs.
ArtMain, offering custom frames, art supplies, and jewelry.
Buffalo Wings and Rings, a sports restaurant experience located in South Minot.
Badlands Bar and Grill, located on 31st Avenue in Minot. Fiance, with all your prom and bridal needs, located in downtown Minot.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
KIZZ FM Z94, playing today's hit music.
Fix 99.9, Minot's music mix.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream, serving the Midwest since 1972.
KRRZ, 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KZPR 105.3 FM, Minot's rock station.
Jacobson Music, bringing music to the Northern Plains since 1980.
KYYX, Kicks 97.1, bringing Minot country since 1977.
MSU Beavers Hockey, online info at msubeavers.com.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
MSU Theater Department, year-round entertainment.
Forward Communication, connecting professionals in the Midwest.
MSU Bookstore, for all your campus needs.
The Red and Green, MSU's student-run newspaper.
Magic City Hoagies, locally owned sandwich shop located in Southwest Minot.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer.
Mike Blessum, your local State Farm representative.
Taco John's, offering fresh tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast. Thrive-In Financial, connecting faith and finances.
PMQ Entertainment, performing at weddings, proms, and dances.
The Pursuit, creating a place in Minot where everyone is welcome.
Mouse River Players, community theater since 1971.
H-Bar-B Construction, for all your oil field needs.
Good evening and welcome to the season finale of MSU Inside Out. I'm Matt Huffman.
And I'm Dalen Eddington.
And we have a big hour-long show lined up for tonight. Got a ton of interviews, a ton of good content provided from all around campus and the community, and even some in-house stuff that we're looking forward to. So it's been a long ride.
Man, I can't already believe it's already the season finale of Inside Out.
It is. It kind of snuck up on us fast. Finals are upon us, but we're going to go ahead and jump over to Nolan Axon, who has the broadcasting department's own Kyler Sharp, to talk a little bit about the bubble setup that's going on.
A very big project is finally coming into works here at Herb Parker Stadium. As you can see behind me, it's not green anymore. It's all white with the canvas tarp that's going to be the new bubble dome once they get air in it. I'm standing out here with Kyler Sharp, member of the MSU football team. Kyler, thank you for joining me. You've been out here for a while working on this. I'm going to start off by asking, are you guys staying warm out here?
It's a struggle to stay warm. Yesterday was pretty cold. It was like 19 degrees, but it said it felt like -6. Today's a little bit warmer. It was in the 30s today, so we're doing the best we can to stay warm out here.
All right, and now to talk about the dome a little bit here, this was a big project that Minot State's kind of had in the works for the last few years. being a member of the athletic department and being on a team, how is it to see this actually finally come into works?
It's great because we don't have to practice in the cold anymore. We don't have to. For me, I'm a quarterback, so I throw. When it was last year, we threw in the gym, so it was hard to get routes and get work done. So with this being up, we're going to be able to practice in shorts and t-shirts out here, and just be able to do a lot more things, run routes, get our conditioning in, just a lot of field work. And then also for the other teams, baseball will be out here, softball will be out here. I think softball is actually going to play in this, so that's going to be cool. And maybe people start to come out and catch a few softball games because it won't be as cold.
All right, and you mentioned too having to practice in the dome, like on the basketball courts and stuff. How tough was that to kind of just keep yourself ready in the off season for the upcoming season, as far as depth perception, even just having walls around you instead of an open field?
It was really hard just for the fact that we can't do as many things in there as we can out here. We can't go full speed in there. If we go full speed, you might risk someone tearing an ACL or just coming off of a cut wrong. I mean, we can do a lot of speed drills in there, but running on a hard wood floor is a lot different than running on turf.
All right, and also you mentioned the other teams too. I don't know how much you know about things that can be done in there, but are like baseball teams and everything, they're going to be able to take fly balls, and will punchers be able to like actually let one rip in here?
I believe so. I believe it's going to be high enough. I think they said it's going to be as high as these lights that we see out here, and so I don't think they should have a problem hitting home runs or anything like that.
All right, and also you mentioned too, you guys have been working on this since yesterday, right?
Yes.
Okay. How many more days of work do you guys have left on the dome here?
No, I'm not sure. I think we're pretty close to putting this thing together. So I would imagine that they're going to blow this thing up here in the next few days.
All right, and real quick here before we wrap up too, you mentioned you were from California earlier. We were talking before this started. How much of a luxury is it now just to avoid the cold altogether, being here? Why not?
It's going to be great. I love the warm weather. I'm originally from Nevada. I played junior college ball in California. It was a great experience out there. Never had to worry about playing in the cold. And when I got out here last semester, probably the worst decision of my life. But I love.
Little technical difficulties there at the end, but thank you, Nolan Axton and Kyla Sharp, for that interview. But kind of in keeping tradition with showcasing MSU art students, I have with me Cassie Stoffer, an art education major whose show Enigma opens tonight at 6:30 at the Northwest Art Center Gallery in Hartnett Hall. How are you doing tonight, Cassie?
I'm good, yeah.
That's good. So let's talk about content first. What exactly is going to be showcased in the show? The name's kind of mysterious, you know.
Okay, so it's called Enigma, Truth and Perspectives, and Enigma refers to something that is kind of difficult to understand. Mm-hmm. And while I was going there, I was excited to try and figure out what's the truth, like which side is telling the truth in regards to the conflict, either the Palestinians or the Israelis. And what I learned was that in order to understand the truth, you have to have all the perspectives, and there's no way a human could ever understand the complexities of it.
So then that kind of jumps right into like the journey of like when you have these individual pieces of work. You have like acrylic paintings, you have even a sculpture, I understand. Mm-hmm. Yep, you have that being showcased. So was it the conflict that inspired these works, or was it kind of more than that?
Yeah, so actually the reason we went was to learn more about the conflict, but it was the stories of the people. I met a lot of people there. Pretty much every day we'd meet like 4 or 5 people and listen to how their life is being affected by the conflict, by the wall, or just by any type of struggles that they're having going on relating to that.
All right, so last year I had the pleasure of interviewing you for The Love of Arts, that show you put on last year. But now between that and Enigma, which one kind of required more on your end, which was, I guess, what was the differences between like setting up your own personal show and then For the Love of Arts?
They're very different because, well, for The Love of Arts, I had a cohort of like 5 people working on different aspects of it. Yep. And it was more about showcasing other people's work. And I had to do a lot more publicity because a lot of people didn't quite understand. While with this, I'm working with the Northwest Art Center Gallery, and so they're doing a lot of the publicity. And I have to do a lot of painting and stuff like that for this one, while the other show I didn't have to.
And so You've been I know I've been talking to you throughout the course of the semester, and you've been painting quite a bit. Like
Yes.
what would you say the lead up to this kind of involved? What was like a week in the life of Cassie in terms of setting the show up?
So whenever I wasn't working on homework or at school or whatever I was doing, I spent all my time in the studio painting or working on the sculpture. And so I would constantly get texts from people, oh, do you want to hang out? I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to paint. I can't hang out with you today or at all until January.
There you go. But hey, January's right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So your major's a little different from my last interview with the art department. Shout out to Maroa Lowry for coming on the show 2 weeks ago now. But she's a BFA printmaker, but you chose to go the art education route. Can you kind of talk about what went into that decision?
Yeah, so originally I entered Minot State with just an elementary education major. And then a semester in, I realized that I was really missing something, and I decided that it was art. And so I went over and talked to Michael Bloom, and I was like, hey, is there a way to do both? Can I do art and education? And then they're like, well, yeah, there's art education.
Hey, just combine two words together.
And so that's the degree and path I decided to pursue.
And then you start student teaching next semester then?
Yeah, I started student teaching January 2nd.
Oh man, just jumping right into it. Not much of cutting your break short.
Yes, I really don't get a break. I think I get about a week.
Hey, and where are you student teaching at, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll be at Bishop Ryan, and then also be at Edison.
It's next door neighbors still.
Yes,
like right
not too
here.
far away.
But is there anything else you'd like to add to our interview?
I think that I'd love to have anybody who's watching to come out and enjoy the show. You can learn a lot by reading the people's stories on the sculpture and observing the paintings. And I just hope that you enjoy it and feel as conflicted as I did.
There you go. Well, thank you for sharing your time with MSU Inside Out. Be sure to stop by the Northwest Art Center Gallery tonight at 6:30 for the opening reception of Enigma, Cassie Stauffer.
At 7 o'clock, I'll be giving an artist talk too.
Ooh, there you go. Insider information right there. 7 o'clock is the artist talk. And if you can't make the show tonight, it will run until the 29th of December.
Yes.
All right, 29th of December. But looking forward to the rest of the show, we have Blake going to be talking to us some sports. We have hockey, coach's perspective from a matter of different angles, following with Noah Laxton in his interview with Wade Regier, and Minot State enrollment. Stay tuned for more on MSU Inside Out.
All-American Trophies for all your screen printing and embroidery needs.
ArtMade, offering custom frames, art supplies, and jewelry.
Buffalo Wings and Rings, a sports restaurant experience located in South Minot.
Badlands Bar and Grill, located on 31st Avenue in Minot. Fiance, with all your prom and bridal needs, located in downtown Minot.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
KIZZ FM Z94, playing today's hit music.
Mix 99.9, Minot's music mix.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream, serving the Midwest since 1972.
KRRZ 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KZPR 105.3 FM, Minot's rock station.
Jacobson Music, bringing music to the Northern Plains since 1980.
KYYX, Kicks 97.1, bringing Minot country since 1977.
MSU Beavers Hockey, online info at msubeavers.com.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
MSU Theater Department, year-round entertainment.
Forward Communication, connecting professionals in the Midwest.
MSU Bookstore, for all your campus needs.
The Red and Green, MSU's student-run newspaper.
Magic City Hoagies, locally owned sandwich shop located in Southwest Minot.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer.
Mike Blessum, your local State Farm representative.
Taco John's, offering fresh tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast. Thrive-In Financial, connecting faith and finances.
PMQ Entertainment, performing at weddings, proms, and dances.
The Pursuit, creating a place in Minot where everyone is welcome.
Mouse River Players, community theater since 1971.
H-Bar-B Construction, for all your oil field needs.
Welcome back to MSU Inside Out, and the men's basketball team on a roll, essentially. They've had a busy season so far.
Yeah, they're 8-1 in the season, the best start in school history.
Wow.
It's really nice to see the men's and the women's, all of school sports doing good in general, the hockey team too.
Really taking off this winter, but I'm going to let you get into it, let you do your job.
Up at the Dome, we've got the Beavers hosting the Dragons of MSU Moorhead. Luis Richimaya drives the baseline, then finds Trevor Rothstein under the hoop for an easy 2. Minot State up 8. Later, Johnny Gamaninga drives in and gets the difficult lay-in, Moorhead within 2. Beavers would find their groove though. Russ Davis gets a look, hits the 3 to go up by 5. The Beavers get the win 78-65. The win pushes the Beavers record to 8-1, the best start in school history. The women's turn now as you pick things up in the second quarter. Jackie Volkert hits the 3 to put the Dragons up 10. Carrie Clements would answer right back for the Beavers with a 3 of her own, 38-31. Holly Johnson would drive the lane, step around a defender to lay it in. The Beavers trail by 5. Moorhead led 41-33 at the half and would hang on to take it 85-64. The Beavers hit the road for 2 games this weekend in Augustana and Wayne State. The Minot State women's hockey team split their series with Assiniboine Community College. They won their first game 4-1 but got into penalty trouble in the second game, dropping the game 5-2. The Beavers allowed 5 power play goals in the process. It is their first loss since dropping the first 2 games of the season. They are off for Christmas break. They are next in action January 20th and 21st when they travel to NDSU. The Minot State men's hockey team continued their season dominance in Iowa last weekend with a sweep over the Cyclones. They took the first game 3-0 and the second game 4-1. This Saturday they welcome in-state rivals the Jamestown Jimmies to town, the same team that ended the Beavers' historic 57-game home winning streak in November. The Beavers will be looking to flip the script this weekend. Puck drop 7:30. Nolan Axon is standing by with head coach Wade Regier for more on the Beavers. Nolan?
Off to a great start on the season, 18-2-1. The MSU men's Beavers hockey team, club hockey team, standing with the coach now, Wade Regier. Like I mentioned, you guys are off to a real good start to the season, and you're coming off a big weekend too, where you're down in Iowa picking up 2 wins. Just tell me a little bit about how you guys have started off the season this year.
You know, we got off to a really good hot start. I think expectations were a little high, especially making the Final Four for the second time in 3 years. And, with just a high number of seniors, expectations ran through early on, and we got off to a great start. We had a bit of a rough patch. I think we were number 1 for about 6 or 7 weeks in a row. I think maybe got some complacency. But then down the stretch here, had a big weekend down in Iowa and got back on track and got back to the number 1 spot. So hopefully that propels us into a big weekend with Jamestown.
And you mentioned back into the number 1 spot, but we were talking a little bit before how when you guys were number 2, you said you were playing some of the best hockey you'd seen you guys play all year. What's going to be kind of the task at hand to do to keep you guys playing that way, even though they're back in the top spot?
It's one of those things you almost have to rely with your team itself. With so much leadership in the locker room, the guys know how it is. This is such a very long season. It's tough to stay up on top of things, and I know our guys sometimes from time to time will get complacent, not only in terms of just our overall game, but just into the little details of how we play. But we're a very resilient team. We played a tough weekend against Iowa State. We had some time where we had some adversity, but our guys found a way to get through that weekend, especially on the road, which is always a bit of a challenge. But our guys know what the task at hand is. It's tough. We know we are expected to go and be a Final Four team going into the national tournament, and trying to piece the season together sometimes can be a challenge, but I know our guys are motivated, and hopefully we can stay on track, especially rolling into the second half of the year.
All right, now you got Jamestown coming up here. You're on the road tomorrow night down in Jamestown, then they're back at home here on Saturday night. Tell So just kind of tell me about, you guys have played each other 8 times already this year, and I know you got a few matchups coming up later on. So what's kind of your mindset going into these games when you've seen a team a lot of times already in the year?
You know, certainly it's to stay focused. You know, we go down to Jamestown, the rink's going to be full. It seems like every time we go there, there's some excitement as being the natural rival, in-state rival. They are a team that works very hard, and for them, you know, it's like the Stanley Cup when they play us. It is their ultimate goal to beat us. It's almost like they forget sometimes who they play earlier in the rest of the season, but when it's us, they play their best. And so for our guys, we have to match that energy, especially play tough on the road. And then on Saturday at home, we got to use the crowd. Our crowds have been absolutely huge in that new rink, and you know, if we can get a couple goals early, it just brings the students and the fans on top of things, and hopefully we can use that as kind of a motivation for the big weekend.
You mentioned it's an in-state rival, and you guys actually finally have one that's in your league other than like a Botno or a Williston where they're playing in a league below you. So how awesome is it, I guess you could say, to have actual in-state rival that gives you guys good games? It's
huge. You know, it's certainly, especially because they're good as well. You know, the fact that they jumped on the scene last year is their first time, and now they've been able to play very competitive. They're ranked 15th kind of in the nation right now, which is another advantage. The other side of it, too, is we are in the middle of nowhere in terms of college hockey, and so having them as a natural rival helps us with scheduling, even working into next season with UNLV and Arizona State, the University of Colorado, even the University of Liberty, which is in Lynchburg, Virginia, is talking about making a trip up here next year and being able to coordinate some of that schedule stuff. So it's kind of, we're kind of allies off the ice and try to be good friends, but on the ice it's fierce rivals. And you know what, if we're enjoying it, I know the fans are enjoying it, and it's just going to bode for better hockey down the road.
And after these games, you got Christmas break coming up. How big is that for your players and I guess for yourself too to manage the rest of the season?
It's huge. You know, we've got a few guys with some key injuries, you know, that are being able to get some time off to be able to heal that. The other side is it's the college hockey season is so long. You know, football season, you come in August and then you're done in November. You know, basketball doesn't start until late October and then they're done in February. We start on the ice in August and go all the way until March. It's a long, grueling season, and you know, especially in terms of classes and everything that we do. It's nice to just get a mental break, chance to go home, see the families, you know, prepare themselves, and so that when they come back in the second semester, they're recharged and ready to go. And you know, we've been doing this for a number of years, and I hope our guys kind of relish in that opportunity and be ready to go again in the second half.
When you guys do come back after a Christmas break, how hard you got to work to get refocused and ready to go for the second half?
You know, in the past, it's always been a bit of a challenge, but you know, with, like I said, going back to what I said earlier, with so many seniors and so many veterans on our squad, they understand what it takes. And so even though they might get a couple weeks off from being with the team, they're going to be on the ice, where they're at home or in the gym, and preparing themselves so that when they come in here in January, we're not missing a beat. And you know, even in the next half, we've got a monster weekend with UNLV and Arizona State flying up. And when Arizona State was here last year, we set a record crowd at the Mesa Arena, and so we're fully intending on to seeing those type of atmospheres. So I think our guys are going to be ready to go. They know the push is on. It's kind of like our playoff push, getting ready for the national tournament, because ultimately a goal, it's a chance to win a national title, or it's considered a bust. So I know our guys are focused and hopefully ready to go in the second half.
And you mentioned the national tournament. It's been a few years removed from when you guys won back in 2012, 2013. You mentioned, too, that you have 11 seniors on the team this year. Is this kind of the squad that's really going to get you guys back there again?
I sure think so. You know what? We're built to win now, and I know our guys last year with that kind of that heartbreaking loss in the semifinals, and being able to be this close to a national title, including being so close to the team that eventually won it, you know, 2 of the last 3 years. I think just those experiences are what's going to reflect on us. And you know, with our guys, too much heartbreak the last couple of seasons, hopefully we'll fuel the fire to get it done this year, because I know that that's certainly going to be motivating going into this national tournament.
All right, Wade, thank you for joining me, taking time out of your busy schedule. I'm going to wish you guys good luck tomorrow night, and then hopefully everybody packs the Mesa on Saturday night to see you guys play against Jamestown. Like you said, a big rivalry game. It'll be fun. Wade, again, thanks for joining me. Back to you guys.
One final note on the local sports: MSU wrestling team is in action for Military Appreciation Night Saturday against Minnesota State. They're also in action against Upper Iowa on Sunday at 1 p.m. In regional sports, the Minnesota Vikings will look to extend their lead in the NFC North this Sunday when they travel to Carolina to face the Panthers. If the regular season ended today, the Vikings would be tied with the Eagles but would hold the edge in the tiebreaker. With 4 games remaining, lots can change within the standings, with teams like the Saints and Seahawks coming on strong. The Minnesota Timberwolves picked up a big win on the West Coast last night. They beat the Clippers 113-107. Anthony Towns had a game-high 21 points in the win. They return home on Sunday to face the Dallas Mavericks. The Timberwolves currently sit 4th in the West with a 15-11 record. The Minnesota Wild are in the midst of a California road trip. In LA, they fell 5-2 to the Kings. They will look to salvage the trip when they travel to the Honda Center to face the Ducks tomorrow. They finish the trip on Sunday in San Jose when they face the Sharks. The Wild have been hit with the injury bug early this season with Jared Spurgeon, Mikael Granlund, and Zach Parise all out long term. The Wild currently sit 5th in the Central Division. Minnesota Vikings 10-2 at the top of the NFC North. Minnesota Wild slowly starting to get back, and of course you got the Timberwolves having a good season. Can't forget about the Twins and their off season too as well. It's nice to see the regional teams doing well.
Yeah, regarding the Twins, I was surprised by the season they had last year that blew me away completely.
It's nice to see the Minnesota Vikings. We'll see if they can make some noise in the postseason.
That we will see. All right, thanks, Blake. Joining me now is an instructor of percussion methods as well as lessons and is a faculty advisor of the Minot State University Drumline, Miss Avis Vikely. Thanks for taking time out of your day to be here with us.
Thanks for asking me to come.
Now, Minot State just recently got in a new gallery in the library. Mm-hmm. Do you think you could give us more information about that?
Yeah. I actually wear a couple hats here on campus. You mentioned that I teach percussion, which is what I do in the music department, but I'm also, on the art side of things, I run the galleries on campus. We have two art galleries, and we change shows out about once a month. So, but we've had a need for quite a while for more space, and especially more workspace, and things like that. So with the help of some private donations, we were able to do a really major renovation in the lower level of the library, and they've made a new gallery exhibit space there. We also will have some a place for a workroom, some storage areas for, not a lot of people know it, but Minot State has a collection of fine art. We have a permanent collection of art we just went past 1,000 pieces. So we have art that we loan out around campus and things like that. So now we're going to have some facilities where we can, it's really state of the art, where we can display it in a really nice setting, and we can also care properly for the art that we own.
What exactly dictates what these galleries are going to be?
Well, we have a couple of exhibits. For example, right now we have a gallery upstairs in Hartnett Hall that we run a variety of things. We have regional artists, we have student shows. This evening we have a student who's just opening her capstone exhibit. Cassie, you had her on a little earlier. So we use the galleries as a kind of a resource. It's a teaching resource, not only for the instructors here on campus, but we have students from high schools around the area that come and see art, and it's just a way for people to experience art firsthand and not have to go to a big city like Minneapolis or wherever to see really, really nice exhibits.
So typically you guys have 2 galleries set up at one time?
Yep, we run 2 shows. All the time. We swap them out. They change about once a month. There's a couple shows that run just a little bit longer. We have 2 national juried shows that we run, our America's 2000 shows. That will be opening. Those will be opening at the beginning of each semester. So those run a little bit longer, but basically we keep the shows up about a month or so, and we go year round. So we run somewhere between 18 and 20 art exhibits a year.
When you guys go through the process of setting up new exhibits, what is that process like?
Well, we start probably a couple years out. We'll be looking at portfolios from different artists and deciding who we want to invite to have shows. And then after that, we set up contracts with those artists. The artists will eventually either ship or bring their artwork here. So art that's in our gallery is on loan from those artists, so we have to make sure that we're going to care properly for it. We unpack the shows, we note any condition of the artwork. If there's any damage or anything, we want to make sure that it's all well taken care of. Then we decide how it should be displayed in the gallery. We arrange things so that they're an interesting experience for the visitor. Once the show is up, if the artist is available, sometimes we might have a reception, invite the artist to come and have some refreshments, and people can come and meet the artist and talk about the art. When the show is all over, then we're responsible to pack it all up and get it safely returned to the artist. So it can be a long process. It starts, a couple years out in the planning stages, and then.
So if the artist gives you the okay, then you guys would display their artwork?
Usually it's the other way around. An artist would come to us and say, this is an example of what I do, this is my work. Is this something that you think would be interesting for your viewers or the audience that you have? And if we like it, we say yes, and then we start a conversation about how it would fit in the schedule and things like that. So.
I know I'm not particularly artistic myself, but I can always appreciate some good art exhibits when I see them.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
I'm just really excited about our new gallery space. It's close to being finished. It's not quite finished. There's a few little details yet. But it's a fabulous space. It's big. It gives us just a lot more opportunities to do things and be visible to the public. There's a new entrance on it's on the south side of the library that wasn't there. They put some new doors in, so it's got good parking. And I would encourage people, once we're up and running, hopefully after the first of the year, I would encourage people to come out and see the new space. It's really fabulous.
All right, well, thank you for being here, Miss Amos Vikely.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up on Inside Out, we have Matt, who is going to be standing by with Maddie Thompson from the theater department. We also have an inside look at the broadcasting department as well, and an interview with the music director from the Minot State Symphony Orchestra, Maestro Efrain Amaya. So now we're going to throw it straight to our underwriters.
All-American Trophies for all your screen printing and embroidery needs.
ArtMade, offering custom frames, art supplies, and jewelry.
Buffalo Wings and Rings, a sports restaurant experience located in South Minot.
Badlands Bar and Grill, located on 31st Avenue in Minot. Fiance, with all your prom and bridal needs, located in downtown Minot.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
KIZZ FM Z94, playing today's hit music.
Fix 99.9, Minot's music mix.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream, serving the Midwest since 1972.
KRRZ, 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KZPR 105.3 FM, Minot's rock station.
Jacobson Music, bringing music to the Northern Plains since 1980.
KYYX, Kicks 97.1, bringing Minot country since 1977.
MSU Beavers Hockey, online info at msubeavers.com.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
MSU Theater Department, year-round entertainment.
Forward Communication, connecting professionals in the Midwest.
MSU Bookstore, for all your campus needs.
The Red and Green, MSU's student-run newspaper.
Magic City Hoagies, locally owned sandwich shop located in Southwest Minot.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer.
Mike Blessum, your local State Farm representative.
Taco John's, offering fresh tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast. Drive-In Financial, connecting faith and finances.
PMQ Entertainment, performing at weddings, proms, and dances.
The Pursuit, creating a place in Minot where everyone is welcome.
Mouse River Players, community theater since 1971.
H-Bar-B Construction, for all your oil field needs.
Welcome back to MSU Inside Out. I'm Matt Huffman, and I am joined by none other than Maddie Thompson. We're going to talk a little bit about dating in the 21st century and how much of a minefield it can be, but more so we're talking about how you're the director of the upcoming play Laugh Out Loud, Cry Quietly, Cry Quietly, which opens tonight at 7:30. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great.
That's good. Oops, sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's good. I'm excited. It's all
excited?
good.
Excited, that's it? Okay. All right, so let's talk about the play. For those not directly involved or familiar with the work of Stacey Lentz, can you kind of give us a summary as to what's kind of going on in this work?
Yeah, well, like you said, it's about dating in the 21st century. It's all about online dating, and it's about the 20-year-olds who live in New York City and trying to figure out this world, you know, and in this new age of using technology to find romantic partners.
Yeah. So it's relatable. I mean, kind of, you know. We're all in the 21st century, kind of, I guess.
You know, I suppose.
So, is there any kind of insight as to what made the decision to run this piece instead of any of the other pieces you guys were going to run towards the end of the semester?
Yeah, we actually picked the show last spring, and so we usually pick a Christmas-related show. However, our good old standby Christmas Carol was being done by Mouse River Players.
Jeez, those Mouse River Players.
So, I know. No, we love them, so it's great.
Okay,
and they did a great adaptation. They did a really great job with the show. So we were looking for something new and something new to put on the stage. I think that we're all kind of sick of doing a Christmas show around Christmas time. So we took a show that's not necessarily a Christmas show, but set it in December and put it on stage.
I understand there's a Christmas tree though.
There's a Christmas tree.
So there you go.
It's Christmas.
It's basically a Christmas
show
with
exactly.
the Christmas tree. So what's it like to be in the director's chair, and what are some of the kind of the pros and the cons that come with the position? You know?
Yeah, it was my first time directing, so it's been a brand new experience, which has been the hardest part, I think, is learning, what do I need to do? There's so many things from the lighting to the coordinating all the designers to coordinating the actors and scheduling, and so that's been challenging, is learning all of that, more like the coordinating of people for sure. I'm used to being a designer and I'm used to being an actor, but this is new. I also ended up designing the lights and the sound.
Hey,
so
there you go.
Taking on more roles was challenging for sure. But the great thing about it is I've got to see these actors who most of them are pretty young and pretty new to our program. I've got to see them kind of grow and become, different people on stage, and that's really awesome to watch.
And then this is all on top of being a full-time student. Full load this semester. You're not
for sure
not missing out on anything. But so what were I guess you kind of already touched on, but some of the challenges in putting the play together. But you mentioned like the scheduling around like everybody else who has like classes, who people work,
Yeah.
What was some of the ways to like circumvent that?
Well, a lot of our theater majors work either early in the morning, so we go to work at like 5 or 3 in the morning, and then go to school all day, and then we rehearse all night long. So making sure that rehearsals ended between 9 and 10, making sure people got to go home at night and go to sleep. But at the same time, classes don't end sometimes until 7, so we couldn't start rehearsal until 7 p.m. So that 7 to 9 time was kind of our sweet spot for rehearsal, and trying to not waste people's time is always my number one priority.
It's a good priority to have.
Yeah.
I mean, we should all adopt that priority, I feel like. But so, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I think it's a really great show. It is, pretty much family friendly, I would say. There's not really any bad language, and anything else is gonna go over kids' head, so they're probably fine.
Yeah,
they're really fine.
they need to learn now.
Yeah, might as well.
They're gonna be dating before you know it.
Oh,
and,
man.
They gotta be ready.
And tickets can be bought at the box office. You can make a reservation about our phone number, which is 858-3172, or you can just show up at the end of the show, and we'll get you tickets. The house opens at 7. The show starts at 7:30. It's $5 for MSU seniors and children, and for adults it's $7. So
perfect. Well, you kind of stole my outro.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But a big thanks to Maddie Thompson for stopping by. Be sure to check out Laugh Out Loud, Cry Quietly, opening tonight.
Tonight, you're in it.
I'm in it, correct. Spoiler alert, I'm in the play. And like I said, it opens tonight with subsequent showings tomorrow and Saturday at the same time. Doors open 30 minutes prior to the show. Yeah. Reservations are encouraged.
They are. Absolutely.
All right. But now we're going to sidetrack a little bit and take a look into some of the insight that went into the broadcasting department this semester, brought to you by our own Chris Tom.
I'm just really excited. I think we're the only live television outlet now on the university basis in the state. I look around the country, I go to conferences, and I see that our students match up very well with anybody in the country.
I want people to know the options they have in the broadcast department. It's not just being on the radio or not just making a commercial. It's being active and doing all these things along with tailgating and making shows and making radio shows and doing all of those things. I want everyone to know all their opportunities they have with the broadcast department. The most enjoyable thing about doing the Sports Splurge itself is just doing it for me. And then on top of it, we get the added piece of we're live and people get to see it and see our content and see how much work we put into it. And it adds to make a reel. I get to make a resume reel out of this. Anthony make a reel out of this. And so does the rest of the crew. Softball players want to do like a softball show or a spring sports show. For some of the classes, there's a coaches show. A lot of other people have talked about doing a music show and doing an arts show and those kinds of things, and doing a e-gaming, esports kind of a show and talking about those kinds of things. So any idea that can flourish into having video content, having updates, having guests, that's great. MSU Inside Out does just that. It's a soft magazine style where it's news and sports and interviews going on around campus and what's going on campus. So anything like that can be turned into a show. And being on local access is huge because the sky's the limit. Anything can go, but it also brings more of a community thing, community look on things. Minot State gets the support of everybody. The athletic department is very good about working together with the broadcast department. There's people over on the management side of things that really support it, or are former alumni of broadcasting, so they support it and can guide money this way. So Minot State itself is a great place to have a radio station and a TV station that provides all these different things in all the different areas across campus. Because of all these things coming in and the money that's been able to come in, the department's been able to buy new equipment to go into HD finally, which is something that they've been working towards. And so having better cameras, better equipment, and learning all those things, and then being able to produce that out into the world in high definition. Some news stations in this world aren't even working in high definition yet, and we're lucky enough at Minot State to get the funding and the support from the community and from the college and from anyone to have the opportunity to have this good of equipment and work with it and be ready to go into the field with that kind of experience and equipment under our belts. That makes Minot State stand out, and especially compared to any other college in this state.
I think the journey is very bright right now. I'm ecstatic about the people we have in our program right now, and we have so much talent that I don't think a lot of the students realize, because we get numb to it after a while. And we'll see a lot of the people that are in our program do real well in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm confident of that.
Wonderful video brought to you by Chris Tom. Big thank you to Chris and everybody else who was involved with that video and doing that for the department. And hopefully we recruit some more people to come be on the show with us next semester.
Definitely.
But joining me now is a man who needs no introduction on campus, as he was the homecoming king, and no introduction in the broadcasting department as one of the co-hosts of the wildly successful Sports Splurge.
Very wildly.
Anthony Battle. How are you doing tonight, Anthony?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to be here. Good to be here.
I mean, it's always good to see your face. You know, earlier this week it was a little rough. It was the series finale. It was a very emotional time for both of us, but here we are tonight, both really, really strong together.
Yeah. It was a sad one for the end of the sports splurge. Me and Leaf had done this for 2 years now, 4 seasons, and it was I don't know, it was weird ending. Like, I mean, it hasn't really hit me yet, but I think next Wednesday comes around and I'm not doing anything, and it's like, no show today, and it's like, this is it. That was it. The series finale happened.
Series finale.
You know, I'm glad it ended the way it did. It was widely, like you said, very successful show. We had a few episodes hitting over, you know, one hit almost 2,000 views, while we had 4 other episodes hit over 1,000 views easily.
And I think a testament to the sports splurge really is how it was like all students. Like, we didn't have, or I was involved with you, but like you guys didn't have no influence from outside like faculty members or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like you said, it was a student run. It was all volunteer based.
Yep.
So if you wanted to help, it was more than welcome. If you didn't want to help, well, that's okay. You can watch it live.
Yeah, and it was like such a good learning experience for not only you and Leap, but for like everybody else that was involved with it. You know, it's like, hey, this is how it kind of works in the real world. You know, you're going really fast. Wednesday, you know, sports. You can't exactly be like, oh, let's pre-produce all our sports information, because a lot of the sports information hasn't happened, and the stuff that has happened already is already not relevant type of deal.
Exactly.
But what was your let's go way back now. All right, what was your favorite episode of the Sports Splurge?
My favorite episode of the Sports Splurge was probably the second time we did Dr. Professor Battle. And I only say that when we did Bracketology 101, the first time around, I didn't really know how to use the green screen, and a lot of the teams were misspelled, so a lot of the schools were misspelled, so it was hard to kind of figure out what was going on. But then going around to season 2, everything was on point, all the names were spelled correctly, all the, like, everything was right. And then also on top of that, Leaf jumped on the green screen with me, and we kind of pointed out the teams, and we really went into depth with it, and almost went about 7 or 8 minutes, you know, talking about each team, what their big players are, what has happened, what their scores are, and what the future looks for them. And so I'd say Bracketology 102, the second time around, was probably the best time where Dr. Professor Battle really shined, and I was undefeated in Bracketology twice now during March Madness, undefeated. So
you're gonna have to like bring it back, you know, like the bracketology battle. Keep the Facebook page going, you know, and then just put the brackets up again in March. Come on.
Probably gonna have to do that.
What's
maybe another
stopping
bracket challenge. And
I think you're afraid to defend your title.
I might be a little bit afraid because I could just retire now on top.
Go out on top.
But I could go for a three-peat and maybe then go out on top.
What would LeBron James do?
LeBron James would go for that three-peat. So now that you bring up LeBron James, I'm going to have to go for the three-peat, I guess.
Gonna have to go for the three-peat. So what else do we have? You know, you're graduating this semester.
I am graduating this semester. So that was another reason why the Sports Splurge ended. And it was kind of like, Leaf isn't done yet, but he didn't want to continue it without me because he said it's just not the same. And it really was. Like, we even had times where Leaf was sick or I was sick, or even when I had nose surgery, when I broke my nose and fixed it. There was a lot of times where we could have had someone substitute for me or for Leaf, and I wouldn't do it. I told him that it's not the same. It's not the Sports Splurge without him. So that's kind of his look out on it too, was that it's not the Sports Splurge without Anthony. So it was definitely a weird thing. So the way it even started, the Sports Splurge, which is why it's so like me and him, was because at 2 in the morning, Leaf jumps out of bed and he's like, "I think we should do a sports show." And I was like, "Wait, what? You want to do what?"
The humble
beginnings. And he was like, and he was like, "No, we should do a sports show. Could be like 30 minutes. We run it, we do it ourselves." And it was like something that me and him both thought up together. We both thought up the name. I wanted Battle and Bakken. He wanted the Sports Splurge because he already had a splurgy sports show. So on the radio, so it kind of for him worked better. So then we did the Sports Splurge, and then it kind of turned into what our parents were just like, to like all our friends being like, to like even people who we didn't know saying, "You guys did an awesome job on the show today." And it's like, that's something that you didn't think of when you make this show up at 5 in the morning, that some random person out in Illinois is going to be like, "I saw your show about this kid we know, and you guys did an awesome job on it, and thank you for that." You know?
Well, first off, your new nose looks wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
I just have to say it.
Thank you.
They did really good work.
Yeah,
But thank you so much for joining me on this interview. Still to come on MSU Inside Out, we have a look back into the bubble with Nolan Axton. I'm going to talk a little bit about the weather, and Dalen will bring us some campus events. Stay tuned for more on MSU Inside Out.
All-American Trophies for all your screen printing and embroidery needs.
ArtMade, offering custom frames, art supplies, and jewelry.
Buffalo Wings and Rings, a sports restaurant experience located in South Minot.
Badlands Bar and Grill, located on 31st Avenue in Minot. Fiance, with all your prom and bridal needs, located in downtown Minot.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
KIZZ FM Z94, playing today's hit music.
Mix 99.9, Minot's music mix.
Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream, serving the Midwest since 1972.
KRRZ 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KZPR 105.3 FM, Minot's rock station.
Jacobson Music, bringing music to the Northern Plains since 1980.
KYYX, Kicks 97.1, bringing Minot country since 1977.
MSU Beavers Hockey, online info at msubeavers.com.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
MSU Theater Department, year-round entertainment.
Forward Communication, connecting professionals in the Midwest.
MSU Bookstore, for all your campus needs.
The Red and Green, MSU's student-run newspaper.
Magic City Hoagies, locally owned sandwich shop located in Southwest Minot.
Spicy Pie, pizza, grinders, beer.
Mike Blessum, your local State Farm representative.
Taco John's, offering fresh tacos, burritos, nachos, and breakfast. Drive-In Financial, connecting faith and finances.
PMQ Entertainment, performing at weddings, proms, and dances.
The Pursuit, creating a place in Minot where everyone is welcome.
Mouse River Players, community theater since 1971.
H-Bar B Construction, for all your oil field needs.
Welcome back to MSU Inside Out. Big shout out to H-Bar B Construction, that last underwriter there on that slide. Good bunch of guys over there in McGregor, North Dakota. But from what I understand, we have another update from the bubble, courtesy of Nolan Axon. He is joined with Zach Newman, a baseball player for Minot State University. Nolan, what's going on out there?
Things are still busy up here at the future home of the Bubble Dome, Herb Parker Stadium on the campus of Minot State University. I'm joined by a baseball player now that will be benefiting from a nice warm dome over the winter months. Zach Newman, thank you for joining me. Pitcher for the Minot State baseball team. It's your first year here, though. We were talking about that a little bit before the interview started here. So you haven't really experienced the full force of a Minot winter as a baseball player, but just tell me a little bit about what you've heard about it.
I've heard that it's really cold, but I'm used to that. I've heard that in past winters we've had the cages and stuff, but with the dome it'll allow us to do a lot more things and prepare for the season a lot better. So I'm excited for that.
All right, as far as like preparation and everything for the season, how much of a benefit will this be to have, so you don't have to sit in a little dome on the basketball court and you can actually like field off of a true hop off of turf or field a real fly ball?
Yeah, for sure. For me as a pitcher, it'll allow me to kind of air it out more along the distances. Every position will benefit. Fly balls for outfielders, real ground balls, stuff like that, I guess.
All right, and you're not a stranger to the cold, though. You're from Canada. You played up in Alberta, originally from New Brunswick. So tell me a little bit about the team this year and how they'll be able to battle with the cold, as far as the guys that have been here and some of the guys that are from north of the border.
I think we have a great returning core, so they're used to kind of the weather that we deal with, and they've shared experiences with me so far. And we have a few new Canadians too, so I'm not the only one, and we've dealt with the cold before, so I think we'll be fine.
All right. And as far as the work that's left to be done on this dome, I don't know if you've heard anything about it or if they're keeping a little bit of it still a secret here, but when do they expect to have it up and ready to go?
We've done a lot of work so far in the last couple of days. I think they're hoping to have it complete in the next couple of days, and we'll be able to use it as soon as we get back from winter break. So,
all right, Zach, thanks for joining me. I'll let you get back to work here, and we'll just go ahead and throw it right back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you for that, Nolan, and thank you, Zach Newman, for coming up and doing a little interview with us. Well, Dalen, a wise man once said to me that the weather outside is frightful, but this weekend's forecast is going to be delightful. Coming up this weekend, we have a high of 35 and a low of 19 on Friday with cloudy skies, no sunshine sneaking in there. But Saturday, we'll see the sun peeking out from around the corner with a high of 38 and a low of 31. So not quite as cold as the day before, but still kind of chilly. And then Sunday, it's North Dakota short and t-shirt weather, people. Go to the beach, hit the lake maybe. But there's going to be a high of 44 and a low of 31 with partly cloudy skies. I'm ready for the warm weekend. I don't know about you. This morning's kind of cold, but I'm ready for the warm weekend.
I'm so ready, Matt.
That's good. Someone has to be. What do you got on campus events?
All right, campus events. Tonight at 6:30 is the Cassandra Stauffer opening reception. We have a special presentation of the Laugh Out Loud play going on tonight, Friday, and Saturday. All those showings are 7:30 p.m. at Hartnett Hall in the Alshire Theatre. The Minot Symphony Orchestra concert is holding a special concert on Saturday with showings at 10 o'clock as well as 7:30 p.m. in MSU Old Main in Anne Nicole Nelson Hall. We have the Western Plains Children's Choir this Sunday at 3 o'clock in MSU Old Main, also in Anne Nicole Nelson Hall. And one of the most important things going on next week is final exams. So that's something to look forward to indeed. We have the Minot Heritage Project next Monday at 7 o'clock, and that is in the Minot Public Library. And to cap it all off, we have the Winter Snowtacular next Saturday from 10 to 6 at the Magic City Discovery Center.
Big week of events here at Minot State University. But I have a fun fact for you, Dalen. Did you know that today is none other than Neil Roberts' birthday? Oh, yeah, he's backstage. I just outed him. It is his birthday back there. Our Facebook Live is getting a direct reaction post for it, but at the same time, a big happy birthday to Neil. I'll do the happy birthday, Mr. President, for him later after the show, maybe.
Man, I had no clue about that.
He's gonna be 33? No, okay, is that what we're saying? All right, but realistically, thank you so much to everybody on the cast and crew for MSU Inside Out. This is, like I said, the season finale. Big shout out to Maddie, Julio, Kale, Daryl, Corey Keller, my main man Corey back there, Chris Tom, Neil Roberts, Lee, and everybody else who was missed, Blake, Nolan. There's a lot of us, but from all of us to you guys, happy holidays from the whole MSU Inside Out crew, and thank you for staying with us this season. I'm Matt Huffman.
And signing off for the last time, I'm Dalen Eddington.
Good night, Minot, North Dakota.